Welcome to Special Dietary Needs in Supported Residential Services. Throughout the next two videos, Part 1 and Part 2, we'll be following Jane, a new SRS staff member, on her journey to compete in a quiz show on special dietary needs. As we do this, we'll talk about what special dietary needs are, why they are important, and what you can do as SRS staff to master the art of catering for special dietary needs, where A indicates what to pay attention to, R is for the routines that can help your team respond consistently, and T is about who to talk to when things get too complicated. Two important points before we start. First point, since this is a very broad topic, we are only going to focus on examples that came up in the SRSs we have been working with. Second point, it is good to highlight that although catering to special dietary needs may look like extra work, it makes a lot of business sense for SRSs. At the end of the day, it's all about good customer retention, a strong reputation, and having the confidence to demonstrate that the SRS is meeting or exceeding the SRS standards on food and nutrition as outlined in the SRS Act. We're now ready to start. So to begin, what are special dietary needs and why are they important? A special dietary need is any change to food, either in type, preparation or service, required either because of someone's values or beliefs, or because of health and safety reasons. In Part 1, we are going to focus on dietary needs linked to cultural, religious, or personal values and beliefs. They can have a deep personal meaning for the individual and therefore are important for their spiritual and mental well-being. Cultural and religious belief systems often involve rules regarding food. These rules can sometimes be complex and can vary from person to person, as not everyone will interpret them the same way. It may be easier to see what this means through one specific example, such as halal foods, which are part of the dietary needs of Muslim people. According to Islamic rules, there are halal or permitted foods, like rice, pasta and bread, fruits and veggies, and halal certified products and meats. And then there are haram or forbidden foods, such as alcohol and products that contain or are derived from alcohol, such as types of vinegar, pork and its byproducts, including bacon, ham and pork sausages, and meats that don't come from a certified halal provider. There are also other products frequently used in SRSs that are usually forbidden unless they have been halal certified, such as stock powder, cheese and yogurt, and commercial salad dressing, just to name a few. I'm curious about what Jane was thinking when she learnt about this. Too expensive? Too many providers to deal with? Too difficult? Not enough time? These are all valid concerns, but remember the T of the art of catering to special dietary needs? When things become too complicated, the key is to talk to the right person. In the example of halal food, residents' family members can be of great help. They can tell you more about permitted and forbidden foods, give you an idea of costs, and where to locate suitable providers. Another good person to talk to is your local dietitian. They can help you clarify some myths about serving halal food. For example, you may be surprised to learn that sourcing halal meat and other product is neither hard nor expensive. Halal mince from a certified butcher cost more or less the same as the equivalent non-halal product in a large supermarket. Nowadays, most supermarkets sell halal meat and products, and given that halal meats are appropriate for all residents, there is no need to have multiple suppliers unless you want to. Staying on the same example, let's get back to the art and focus now on the A, what to pay attention to if you had a resident who only accepted halal foods. Let's say that after consulting your local dietitian and considering all your available options, you still decide that you are not going to serve halal certified products. That will mean that your resident will likely skip the forbidden items in their meal, such as meats, the salad dressed with wine vinegar, or yogurt, just to name a few. In that case, your attention should be on offering appropriate substitutes, so your resident is not further disadvantaged. Now that we have talked about where to focus your attention and who to talk to, let's discuss the R in the art. What are some of the main routines that can help you and your team be on the same page? One important routine is to include a question about special dietary needs in your intake form. That way you ensure you have had this conversation with every new resident moving into your lodge and have documented that you have done your best to consider the individual dietary needs. Another important routine is to have a log sheet with a list of residents with special dietary needs displayed in the kitchen. We will be looking at this in more detail later in the video. But now, we need to stop for a moment to see how the quiz show is coming along. They are actually asking about halal foods. For a romantic dinner for two, what does halal mean? Permitted? Forbidden? Tasty? Mark was the quickest to hit the button and got it right. Halal means permitted, and Mark wins a romantic dinner for two. Let's move on now to a food choice that is sometimes made for religious reasons and other times for ethical beliefs. Vegetarianism. Depending on preferences regarding dairy products, fish and eggs, you will find that there are many forms of vegetarian diets. In all cases, the main thing to pay attention to is to make sure that vegetarian meals reflect the nutritional value of regular meals and follow the plate model, with animal proteins replaced by suitable vegetarian proteins. If you are wondering how to make this happen, your local dietitian is the best person to talk to for ideas. They can show you examples of vegetarian proteins you can use, how to prepare them and make them tasty, as well as how to make different vegetarian dishes in ways that will save you time and money. For example, cooking in bulk, freezing in individual portions, and using those individual portions to create a range of varied dishes. Hard to imagine? Take bolognese sauce. Instead of using beef mince, you use tinned or cooked lentils. You freeze that in individual portions. One day, you add some low-fat cheese, a dollop of natural yogurt, and use one portion as a topping for baked potatoes with some veggies. Another day, you add some herbs, spices, and red kidney beans, and you have a vegetarian chili con carne that can be served on rice with vegetables. Yum. As for the routines that will help you and your team stay consistent, we can now have a closer look at the special dietary needs log sheet we referred to earlier. This is what it should look like. It should include the date, the resident's name, the type of dietary need, and maybe an area for additional comments. Ideally, this should be displayed in the kitchen where cooking staff can access it easily. It should have a simple and clear format that is easy to update as residents' requirements change. If needed, a copy of this template can be downloaded from the Merry Health website. Before we close, let's see how Jane is doing in the quiz show. She's just about to answer an important question. Think of how you would answer it if you were in her shoes. For a trip to Bali, Jane, is the following statement true or false? A vegetarian dish can be easily put together by simply removing the meat from the regular meal. Unfortunately for Jane, true is incorrect. Remember the plate model, which shows that you should always have proteins in 1/4 of your plate. The trick is in finding suitable vegetarian proteins, such as lentils and beans. Luckily, Jane is still in the game, and we believe she can turn things around.